Will the markets, and particularly the crypto markets, recover as we approach the FOMC meeting in September with the heavily favored odds in hopes of a Fed rate cut? Let's just take a look into the CME watch tool here. This is the tool that has been very accurate in predicting a Fed rate cut. I've been using it for the last couple of years. Of course, what I am looking at here are the probabilities for the September rate cut, which happens on September 17th, right? Or FOMC meeting that happens on September 17th, and the probability of an ease right now is at 87%. This is gonna fluctuate, but as we get closer, of course, it's gonna be more set in stone. But I've seen it fluctuate from anywhere about 75% to about 90 something percent in this period of August, right? Ever since that jobs report that came out in the U.S., that Jackson Hole speech, and if we actually do get a rate cut, I think this is gonna be the fuel for the bull market here. Even though I said the bull market has already started since Bitcoin has broken above that 110K level and trying to stay above it right now. We're going to take a look into some major economics news and crypto news, as well as some charts, which includes Bitcoin, because this is still the driver of this market. If Bitcoin has room to pump, so will the altcoins. But if Bitcoin dumps, as we have been seeing for the last 3 weeks here, okay, almost 3 weeks here, then that's going to be very bad for your altcoins. Now, we're also going to take a look into some altcoin setups later as well, which would include ANKR Network, ANKR, Stronghold, SHX, and as well as Slash Vision Labs, SLV. Okay, am I saying that right? Let me see here. It's a relatively new coin, SVL slash Vision Labs USDT. See what's happening in these altcoins and their potential setups, what they could be doing in the very near future. So let's go ahead and take a look into some news first. Some very important news as before diving into the charts. First one here is by Crypto Potato. 2 reasons why Bitcoin might sink deeper in the short term. So this is going to be interesting. Now, my opinion on this market is bullish, but I am always open-minded to hearing what the other side has to say. Because as a trader in this market, it's my responsibility to go either direction to actually find opportunities. So I keep an open mind, but I also I also think critically when I see headlines and hear what others say as well. Now, key points. The recent whale activity suggests BTC's price may continue to decline in the following days. I kind of disagree with that because I pointed out that, even though there was bullish divergence on the daily time frame that got invalidated, I mentioned that yesterday, it did get invalidated. I am still seeing bullish divergence on a smaller time frame, like the hourly time frame, which could rebound Bitcoin to a pretty good extent, right? Before the weekly 21 SMA catches up. And we're still at a very key support, which is that 110K level that I've been talking about. And if we actually get weekly, if we're actually staying above this level with weekly candle closes, solid weekly candle closes, then I think we're still in good shape. Yeah, but even though we're kind of on the line right now at that 110K level for Bitcoin. Now, next key point is, however, analysts remain optimistic, whereas the assets RSI has neared oversold territory. So I think this key point here is talking about some of the smaller time frame RSIs. I'll point that out to you guys in just a second. Okay. All right, next piece here is by Cointelegraph. Bitcoin, spot Bitcoin ETFs end 6-day outflow streak with $219 million inflows. So that's gonna, I mean, that sounds like it's pretty good for the markets. I don't really study the ETFs outflow and inflow charts, but I mean, from what I'm hearing right now, outflows. I've been observing that it has been correlated with down days, right, on Bitcoin, on possibly altcoins, and then so it's good to see inflows back into the ETFs. So could this be the inflection point for Bitcoin and the altcoins here? All right, next piece here is Cointelegraph. By Cointelegraph, Bitcoin drops under 109K. How low can Bitcoin price go? So, I am looking at the next key support, which is the weekly 21 SMA, if that 110K here does not hold, right? But I am looking for a decisive weekly candle close. If we get a solid weekly candle close below 110K, then that's not going to be good for Bitcoin, because that tells me that 110K level has been broken through, and that we might need to recharge Bitcoin to get a better sense of where this bull cycle could be going, okay, or when it could be restarting again. All right, so let's just read some key points here. Bitcoin is teasing a breakdown below old all-time highs at 109K, 109.3K. Where will Bitcoin price action head next? I just want to also mention one thing. Even though I said 110K is the key support, it is possible that the price action drops below 110K. In this case, I am looking for solid candle closes, right? And not just wicks, right? Because it is possible for price action to dip below a support level but still close above that support level and still look good. All right, next piece here is by Crypto News. Ethereum outpaces Bitcoin. Why analysts expect Ethereum to break 5K soon. So I think Ethereum is just lagging behind Bitcoin. It is following behind Bitcoin's lead. Bitcoin has been breaking above its all-time highs basically since November of last year. Okay, since it hit 110K before getting a huge drop this year, and then 124K not too long ago. So the altcoins are just catching up. And what I'm seeing in this market right now is Bitcoin dominance basically tanking, right? It was at as high as about 65%. Now it's at 58%. So I really do think that the money is just rotating into the altcoins. Ethereum's going to catch up. Altcoins are going to catch up, which is total 3. All right. Next piece here is by Cointelegraph. Was 124K the top? Bitcoin's price peaks signals tell a different story. Let's go ahead and take a look into some of these key points here. Bitcoin's 124K.5 high is unlikely to be the cycle top, with all 30 indicators still neutral. Yes, I agree that the 124K is not the top. Highly likely not the top. Okay, because of the monthly RSI reading is still nowhere near FOMO levels like back in 2021, 2017. We're still far from that. Does it have to play out exactly like that? No, but I mean, there's nothing else telling me otherwise right now. Now, I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here. So my opinion on this market is bullish, but these are just my opinions only and not financial advice. You got to do your own research and form your own opinions. Next key point here is recent losses show new investors capitulating as seasoned holders are unfazed. Yes, I think if you're new in this market could get pretty emotional. It will definitely test your emotions. I've been in this market for over 5+ years. I think I've seen my fair share of crazy price action. Uh, Moments where I think I was gonna lose it all. But I'm still alive here. So I mean, yesterday was brutal. But after seeing so many of these drops and euphoric pumps, I really do think my emotions are kind of numb at this point. Now holding above the 20-week EMA keeps Bitcoin's path open toward 150k. Yes, I agree. Even though I am not looking at the EMA, I am looking at the SMA 21-week SMA. As long as we keep above that, I think this bull cycle is still pretty on target, on schedule. All right, let's come over here to some charts here. I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm seeing on the charts here. Weekly time frame. It is trying to stay above this weekly, this support here at about 110k. Very important. We get candle closes above this weekly, this 110k level, because otherwise we could be breaking that support, which was very important, which was that breakout that I've been talking about for some time. Um, so, if we actually get weekly candle closes, solid weekly candle closes below this 110k level, then we might have to go back to the drawing boards, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think, because I might have to just rechart the charts and see where this bull cycle could restart, right? Weekly 21 SMA is at about 107k almost. Almost 107k, the blue line here. That's going to be your next key support if 110k does not hold. Now let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame. I'm going to recap on what I said yesterday, because I mentioned that there was a huge bounce signal yesterday. However, it did get invalidated. Okay, I will tell you guys that signals get invalidated, right? And yesterday was one of them. And yesterday was a brutal day. It went down to as low as about 108.5 before getting a bounce right now. And we did get that bullish divergence invalidated on this daily time frame. We did get a lower RSI reading. Let's take a look into a lower time frame and see what we could be, what the chart says. Okay, so let's just go back real quick. Daily time frame. I want to mention that this falling wedge is still valid on this daily time frame, because the price action is still above this upper trend line here of that pattern it broke out of. Price target will still be about 121k for Bitcoin. You want to be rooting for Bitcoin if you're holding altcoins. Okay, so because if Bitcoin dumps, that's going to dump your altcoins further. Let's take a look into the hourly time frame, where I am seeing quite a bit of bullish divergence here, right? Lower lows, but equal or higher lows on the RSI. Let's see if this results in something good for Bitcoin, because there is also a falling wedge pattern here. And if it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would be about 114k for Bitcoin. Let's see if Bitcoin can rebound to 114k. And buy some time for that weekly 21 SMA to catch up. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go to the altcoins here. First of all, we're going to start with Stronghold, which is SHX. It has been pumping quite a bit, okay, since the last time we've talked about it. Now let's come over here to the daily time frame, which was the time frame I talked about last time. For Stronghold, SHX, USD, or USDT is going to be very similar. Now, I talked about a falling wedge last time, which broke out of, Stronghold broke out of and basically met its target and a lot more. Went as far up as about 3.5 cents before getting a retrace right now. What could Stronghold be doing right now? So it has basically breached the daily 21 SMA. Okay. it could be forming a falling, I mean, it has formed a falling wedge pattern, right? The next key support here, let's see if it's at the 12-hour moving average. It's already breached the 12-hour 50 SMA. The next key support I'll be looking at here could be the daily 50 SMA that is catching up to the pattern right now, which is the white line. Currently at about 2.2 cents. Could Stronghold actually get a bounce from within this pattern and buy time for this daily 50 SMA to actually catch up into this pattern? Because this is going to be the next key support I'll be looking at for Stronghold. And if Stronghold stay within this falling wedge pattern, that is still a bullish pattern that usually breaks back out to the upside, okay? If it breaks back out to the upside here, let's just say by, excuse me, let me go ahead and adjust this. This would be the opening of the pattern. By this point, let's just say for example, then the price target would be about 3.3 cents price target for Stronghold, if it could break out of this pattern. Now, falling wedges usually break to the upside, okay? They still have a smaller chance it breaks down, but this is the usual, that's the, that's the higher probability of breaking to the upside. Now, the price target is an estimate only. Very much depends on the type of market that we're in. If we're in a bull market, sideways market, bear markets. As of right now, I still think we're in a bull market since Bitcoin still has weekly candles, closes above that 110K level. And of course, a lot of it is going to depend on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and go to Anchor and see what's happening with ANKR. Let's come to the weekly time frame here, which I think very little has changed, and then we're gonna work our way down to the smaller time frame. Weekly time frame here, still a huge falling wedge pattern. If it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would still be about 10.5 cents price targets. Now, let's see here. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame, daily time frame. Okay. Now Anchor is still very close to that bottom of that bigger falling wedge pattern here. Let's see if it can break out of the smaller falling wedge pattern that you can see on this daily time frame. If it does, then the price target out of this pattern here, let's just say, for example, it breaks out by this point, then the price target would be about 2 cents price target. Let's see if Anchor can get there. However, got to consider the downside as well, because if it actually breaks down, then this could fall further down into the towards the bottom trend line of that bigger falling wedge pattern, right? So this is basically what I'm seeing for Anchor. Quite a bit of resistance for Anchor to get above, including the daily 21 SMA, daily 50 SMA, daily 200 SMA, the orange line here. Let's go ahead and go to SVL, which is slash Vision Labs. See what's happening in this coin here. All right, daily time frame. There is bearish divergence, which usually means that there's going to be a pullback, and we are seeing that we have seen that pullback played out here with two huge dump candles. Okay, now let's come over here to the 12-hour time frame just to see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Slash Vision Labs. If SVL does not break above this upper trend line here, I would expect that this could form some type of a falling wedge pattern, which could look something more like this. Okay. Right. We have one swing up, one swing down, second swing up. If SVL does not break above this, then second swing down. Okay. Now, this basically wraps it up for this video. I do have to go. Let me know if you want to continue seeing any more of these coins by dropping a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.